Disclaimer: The Dead Linger is in the alpha stages of its development and is not a finished game. This game is in active development. Bugs, errors, negative review scores, and missing or incomplete features will be encountered during play. There are many more updates to come as we evolve the game and continue to add features and fix issues. Be sure to check out the deadlinger.com roadmap to see the full plan. Please submit bugs and feedback on our forums. We the devs hang out there all the time and listen to your words. In the meantime, enjoy what we have so far. Love, Sandswept. Oh, I'm prepared. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Dead Linger. Quite possibly my earliest early access disappointment. This game promised the world. An open-world, procedurally generated, deeply complex zombie apocalypse simulator. Sort of in the vein of Project Zomboid, but fully 3D, and like I said, procedurally generated so that no two stories will ever be the same. No two worlds will match. Of course, we all know how these things go, over-promising, under-delivering, and a development schedule that was a total mess. These days, this game would be very obviously doomed from the start, but back then, I was so excited for it, being a huge fan of The Walking Dead, and I just had no experience with this type of thing. So I was really excited for it and followed it for 2 years, from 2013 to 2015, when they finally announced, after like 3 engine changes, that they were ceasing development. According to Steam, the last time I launched this game was October 28th, 2015, 8 years ago. And this game is truly abandoned. I mean, it's not just abandoned by the developers and no longer receiving updates. You can't even buy it on Steam anymore. The only reason I'm able to install it is because I already owned it. And the reason I'm coming here is because I really wonder if exploring an abandoned game will have like a similar creepy feeling to exploring an abandoned building. I mean, I'm mostly just curious about how it's going to feel. But I guess we'll, wait, my old world is still there, but actually, it's kind of funny that this game even has world generation. I mean, look, see, like 00000? Because one of the last things this game did before it died was it moved from Unity to Unreal 4, and with it, it got rid of its procedurally generated world. I can't move? Ow! Ooh, hello? And here we are, for the first time in 8 years, in the Dead Linger. And it may not look like much, but at the time, I was, believe it or not, super excited for this. Because, as far as I knew, there just wasn't anything else like it. I wasn't aware of Project Zomboid, and, you know, like I said, I would have preferred this because it's 3D. I mean, looking around at all these overturned cars, the buildings, the zombies shuffling after me, even now, I kind of see why I was so hopeful for this. I would have lived in a game like this, but now, believe it or not, it actually feels like an abandoned city to me. Something that has been left behind, not just in the context of the game, but in real life as well. Alright, wait, how do I... Okay, we can punch. How do I open a door? Alright, it's middle click. It was just something that hadn't been done before, you know? Long-term survival, where it's not just an action game, having to manage our inventory, being able to make our base anywhere. This game had like a rudimentary like barricading system where we could use a hammer and nails to put up boards. It worked awful, but, you know, it was there. There's just something so appealing about being able to crawl into any structure and make it my own. If zombies get in, it's not because of a scripted event, it's because my defenses failed, and I can choose to do anything about it. Hide upstairs, hide in the basement, jump out the window and run, leaving all my stuff behind. The Freeman. The Freeman crowbar. Okay, how do we pick it up? There we go. Now we can fight. And just listen to that. Listen to that desolate soundtrack, sitting here in this darkened apartment, hearing my stomach grumble and looking across the street, seeing zombies shamble about in there, too. Oh, that soundtrack is so good. I didn't even remember it. It's almost making me kind of sad, you know? Making me wish that something had actually come of it. But that's the whole thing with early access games, isn't it? See, the lead developer was very much an ideas guy, you know? One of those. Promised the world, and it never really panned out because the development was just so all over the place. I mean, I found that in early access games, people like that tend to develop in such a way where it's like all about the next big thing. And instead of having like a sane, reasonable roadmap where updates sort of build off of one another, it was very much about, why can't I hit this guy? It was very much a case of like, whatever he was excited about in that very moment, that was going to be the next development focus. It was like, okay, we've just had this like big world generation update. Next thing, bikes. Next thing, campfires. Next thing, the farm biome. And it's like all of these like quality of life features and all of these like assets were coming in when a foundation hadn't yet been established. And then like they would get frustrated with the fact that it wasn't working and decide that the solution was some completely nutso change to like overhaul that would bring us right back to square one. And so it was, even from an outside perspective, it was very, very frustrating to see it go one step forward, two steps back, like over and over again.
Okay, so I don't really know what's going on here, but I'm just here chilling at Herschel Green's house, and I appear to be living with a ghost shotgun. Now, there wasn't another shotgun here before. I'm holding the only one I found, but yeah, also, wait. Okay, and there's a box of matches teleporting in and out. Also, my dining room set appears to have disappeared, but that's another matter. And the thing about this ghost shotgun, it moves in relation to me. It doesn't just hover in front of me, it's always there. Moves along... Yeah, see? And, here's the real thing. I can see it through walls and stuff. Now this happens no matter how far out I go. Hang on. It seems like it can be seen through anything. Hey, there's my pickaxe that fell through the floor 9 years ago. I wonder what other stuff is. This shotgun right here. I kind of don't want this fixed. I want to name it. I don't know a name for it yet, but I want to live with this thing. I want this thing to be my buddy. Like, I hope this thing fires when zombies are near. I want it to be my survival partner.
Now, this may look really terrible, the combat, but if we can get our hands on, like, an assault rifle or something, you'll see that they did actually make the shooting quite satisfying. I just hope I can find one. Now, if you look at this world, look at how desolate this is, how the map terrain is made, but the world, the buildings, aren't even in yet. And that's because this game, like it used to be procedurally generated, where when it was on Unity, you would get all these neighborhoods and distant cabins and farms, even cities later on. But all this is now is a canvas that hasn't been fully painted. The buildings all manually placed and somehow still looking really glitchy. You can see the mountains and imagine the kinds of things that would have once populated them, but as it stands, this one little area is all that was ever placed. There were supposed to be vehicles, but I don't believe they ever made it in. Oh, look, these little houses are still using the Unreal 4, like, dev textures. that's how early on this is. I believe, because this game changed to Unreal 4, and that took like a year of development time, during which there were no updates. And production was canceled basically right after this update dropped. And so it's abandoned like in the earliest state possible. Actually less fleshed out than previous versions. Look, all these wood planks that we can use for barricading, just standing straight up. Unnatural physics on all the objects. Can we knock them over? No, we sort of interact with them, but our body physically walks right through them. It's almost like annihilation, but it's actually really eerie because I'm used to seeing things like this in games because I play a lot of early access games. But what's so uncanny about this is realizing that it's just been sitting here in this state for 8 years. I'm just imagining all these NPCs standing in place for all that time, all these things waiting to be textured and worked on, and it just never happened for nearly a decade. I don't know, there's just something so, like, weirdly sad and creepy about that to me. Look, you slide back like that. It took Project Zomboid years to catch up with the Jason Voorhees zombie. If we can... God, I'm hating this combat so much. If I release the click even slightly early... Oh no, there is no basement. If I release the click even slightly early, it'll actually pull the attack and it won't happen. Oh, here's a gun. Hang on, wait, can I pick it up? There we go. A jack-o'-lantern that I can wear on my head. Yep, that's my new thing. And let's put that in our... How do I equip you? Okay, there we go. Now, is it loaded? I have no idea. There's no crosshair. I can't seem to aim down... Oh, there we go. Nope, it is not loaded. Okay. Nope! Now, remember, if we get bit once, we're dead. And that was also part of the appeal to me, was that it was like faithful zombie stuff, you know? Nobody else was doing that. Every zombie game had to come up with some excuse for why you were immune. Everything was so action-oriented rather than survival, and this seemed like such a good change of pace. Whoa! Okay, the gun just fired. I was getting nothing but clicks from it a second ago, and when I right-click, there's a zoom-in that I cannot seem to leave. Oh, this is so utterly broken. But I thought, yeah, I saw the sign to a convenience store over there. Just look at this. This is so eerie to look at because a landscape like this would be pretty creepy. Look, just like a lone convenience store in the middle of nothing. It would be creepy even if it were procedurally generated, but knowing that it's hand-placed, knowing that it was all meant to be something more, it's almost like a stillborn world. And that is quite a weird thing to think of the space we're exploring. Knowing that it was all meant to be so much more, and it's just been sitting this way all this time. But I don't think we're going to find anything here. Oh wait, there's a rifle. Vintovka Mosina. I don't know how I'm fitting all of this in my backpack, but we can try. There we go. And, oh, we can't seem to actually aim down sights. Look at that, there's a cabin in the woods over there. There are so many creepypastas about returning to nostalgic video games and finding there's something not quite right about them. But what about returning to a nostalgic game that never actually released, that was never even finished? I mean, that's so weird all its own, and somehow I'm getting both that and the creepypasta vibe from it. It's so dark and we do not have a flashlight. Maybe we can Jump out through the back window. Thank you. I was not looking forward to walking back through that cabin. Because look, every creepypasta has that moment where you reach the conclusion, you know? You reach that one weird place that either wasn't there before or always bothered you, and that's where you find the heart of what's going on here. Those cabins always freaked me out in the original. Look, I can't even see any zombies. It's actually entirely possible that each zombie is a manual spawn. Because towards the end of this, about to die of starvation, I can't figure out how to eat. It's entirely possible because towards the end, everything was sort of like moving away and cutting down expectations and basically shrinking down the scope into something more manageable. But of course, it was too little too late. So once you start to walk away from the area that's been built, this game world was supposed to be huge. And so for as desolate as this area is, there's like 100 square kilometers or something like that of just nothing. This is... There may be stuff out there, right? It's entirely possible that the devs did put stuff out there in the hope that it would eventually be part of the larger world. But it never came to be. And so it's just unnerving me thinking that there could be some structure up on top of that mountain, for all I know, that's been waiting for someone to come explore it for the better part of a decade. Not just physical desolation, but also separated by time. And knowing that probably close to no one has been here in that time. We're seeing some anomalies with the street here. Alright, let's switch to... First of all, can I eat this? Hello? How do I... How eat? How eat? Whatever, let's just try and shoot something. Will your helmet prevent me from getting the kill? Let's try it on someplace else. I don't even know if this thing is loaded. No, you're not going to do it? Alright. Look, there's things overlapping in the inventory. That's the recoil. It's even more broken than I remember. Do I even have finite ammo? Well, that's at least a little bit more satisfying than swinging the crowbar. Ooh, you will actually take the first hit for you. Alright, well, I guess let's just clear. There's nothing else to do in this game. Nope, I'm out of ammo. Never mind. Good day, fellas. But you'll see, yeah, night is starting to fall. And we're not going to be able to see a thing. We're just going to have to hunker down somewhere and wait. In earlier versions, you could build a campfire, but I'm not sure that's the case any longer. I just beat that zombie to death with a candy bar, and he phased out of existence. Now, that's the state this is in, but, you know, as we sit here in these upper windows, this whole city's so fleshed out, and knowing we can go in any room... Can you at least see what the vision was and why we were so excited for this? I just heard like a wait. I just heard what sounded like a distant gunshot. Okay, this is getting a little bit on the weird side now. I know that Project Zomboid has, like, ambient audio of like gunshots and screams and such, but I don't think this ever did. Hang on, the whole reason I was coming here, right, is because most likely I am the only person to visit this game in years. I mean, you can't even get this on Steam anymore, so why am I hearing gunshots? Oh wait, there's a gun right there, holding it at the same time as our candy bar. and no sound effect to accompany it, the blood briefly hanging in the air all on its own. Oh, there's a ton of stuff piled up in here. There's a pipe on the ground we can maybe take. There we go. At least we'll have a melee weapon. But man, the thought of somebody else being on this map. What's even more of a weird sensation is that somehow that struck me as like a jump scare because it indicates another human presence, sort of. This game never had human NPCs, it was only ever zombies, and I think in an earlier version there might have been zombie dogs. But weirdly, the zombies populating the streets, like, make it feel more empty. Like watching drones just kind of move about a dead society. Well, I'm out of ammo, and there I am, dying of starvation right before a zombie can get me. You are what you eat. So in this case, I guess I'm nothing. Oh wait, you can respawn. Huh. I had always assumed it was like permadeath. And I suppose it is, we're a new character now, but here we are. And you know what? With nothing else to do here, I think I will actually try moving out of bounds. Well, actually, I suppose that's what's so weird about this, is that there is no out of bounds. It's all just empty world that never got a chance to have anything placed in it. Look at this bathroom. I haven't actually seen like a megastore around here, but that's actually something that I was looking for. What was that sound? What are these sounds that I'm hearing? Is that just them, like, banging on the door? Oh, wait. There's something different. Oh, there's, like, a quarantine wall in, like, a camp or something. Yeah, I remember part of this game was that, like, there was this organization that was supposed to be essentially FEMA, and there were, like, these huge conspiracies that you were supposed to be able to, like, unravel if you decided to pull that thread. Alright, we're definitely going to check out over there. If I can just find, like, a weapon or something. And, you know, figure out how to eat. I haven't been able to find a megastore. Like, there used to be these, like, huge supermarkets. Excuse me, sir, I'll just take that. And that's a Padlin. And those supermarkets, I think, were just emblematic of the whole development process of this game. Because it was headed by this idea guy, you know, who was all over the place with design priorities, who couldn't decide on a direction or a tone, or what features were critical and what needed to be added right now and what could wait. But it had some genuinely talented people working on it. Like, there was this one guy, Chouse, who did all the environment assets, and you can see, even though they're incomplete, these buildings are really impressive, and so atmospheric. Listen, we can hear like that emergency broadcast playing on the loudspeakers. Oh, this melancholy music picked just the moment to kick in. Imagine that all this time, it's just been going off like that. Broadcasting to an audience of no one, intended to broadcast to an audience of no one, yet at the same time to an audience meant to appreciate that it's broadcasting to an audience of no one, and that secondary audience isn't even here. Well, I guess it sort of finally is. This video might end up being the most attention this game's gotten in a very long time. But it seems like we've exhausted everything. Look, some gloves we can wear, a moldy orange we can eat, and some object that literally isn't anything. Let's continue our journey. There's a construction site only loading in when we're 5 feet away from it. I wonder what the mindset is here. Like, I guess they were trying to mark out, like, different districts. Oh wait, you're outside the Alpha Containment Zone. You can explore, but there isn't much to see out here just yet. No loot or food. You may also encounter visual oddities and bugs. You have been warned. Imagine this, but fleshed out. Imagine To This Music pedaling down a country road through a dark forest at night, only illuminated by the little light on the handles. Look, there's only so many ways I can say the same thing, so this probably isn't going to be a very long video. But I'm just so fascinated with the idea of an abandoned game eliciting the same feelings as an abandoned building, as an abandoned city. And I think something that it has going for it in that respect is that it's got all the memories tied to it. I think that was just LOD, but it was really weird because it looked like a black shadow moving past the window. It's almost like visiting the ghosts of memories. You're looking at something that so many people were once so excited for, and now haven't even thought about in years. Well, we just about made it to the top of that peak. And I do not like the ominous music that's suddenly come over me. But it seems we've accomplished just about the only goal we could hope to around here. The city now completely unloaded, only a few streets visible. Oh look, there's a river down there. Hadn't seen that before, although at this rate we will starve to death probably long before we reach it. And some really strange line off in the distance. Oh, I suppose that's probably supposed to be like a radio tower. Kind of suggesting that in this, like, vast open world, maybe there really are things out there. Just things that have been placed and no one will ever see. This was nostalgic. It was eerie in a weird way. And it's also kind of sad, you know? Like, just the thought of all the hard work and man-hours that went into this, only to have it end up like this, an abandoned game explored for a YouTube video nearly a decade later. I don't know how else to end this video. I don't have an ending, just something to think about. Are we crashing on respawn? Looks like we crashed during respawn, so I guess that's the sign that we're done here. Well, that was the Dead Linger, and in a larger sense, just an exploration of abandoned games in general. I can't really say anything that I didn't already say, because there's not too much to say about it, but I'm really curious to know now. I have nostalgia for this game, and so it was certainly one feeling for me, but how did it feel to you if you have no experience with this game? Like, if it's something you've never heard of before and you've only known it in this state? Let me know down below, and if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, tough luck, bucko, unless you can find like a torrent or something. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.